I keep getting texts from Mr. Mamdani. I've lived in New York City for 26 years, and I have never received a single text from the mayor. And the moment this man started his job, I started getting texts on the reg from him.
I like this. Or sometimes are they just like, listen, have a nice day.
Heated rivalry is free at all New York public libraries. Love Zoe.
What a man.
No, well, he's been sending a lot of like very intense texts over the last couple of days, warning about basement flooding and like because it's pouring rain here.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy looking videos. Although I'm always now.
Did you see the video of the lady getting off the bus and she just
got swept away?
Swept away. No one knows what happened to her. She's just living in New Jersey now.
She's probably an alligator shifter, and it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's the dream, man.
The problem with me now, of course, is these videos now I have to be like, is it
could
AI?
Be AI.
Right, and then I have to investigate, like, who posted it.
I actually think this lady, I think that is real. I think that poor lady wearing her pink Lycra, she looked great. And then she just got whooshed away.
Oh. So sorry I'm laughing.
Anyway, so it's raining here, which is the perfect thing for this.
It is.
This episode.
Vibes.
Yes, real storms vibes. But also, it's Memorial Day weekend and Eric always goes on.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. This is like my nightmare.
I literally texted Jen and Kate earlier this week and I was like, Eric, so every Memorial Day, I'm sure we talked about this on the podcast before. The reason why we were off last week is because every Memorial Day, Eric and his friends go and they camp in the woods in upstate New York. And it's like a thing. He thinks about it. He looks forward to it all year. Like it is a special, special thing that he and his friends do Memorial Day weekend. It's kind of sacred.
Like, yeah, it's kind of like when you and I go to like a nice hotel bar. And we yuck it up with the bartender, have a $20 espresso martini. It's like that.
100%.
The same exact thing.
And he gets a tent and he goes and he sleeps in the woods for 3 nights and he comes back, I don't know, refreshed and then goes back to the grind. But every year it rains. Every year. And every year we dance the same little dance for the week before he leaves, which is like, the weather's not going to be good, but maybe he loves to sell this as a microclimate. Like,
sure.
Oh, but it's a microclimate. So like, maybe it won't rain. Like maybe it's like it's like Fern Gully.
Half hope, half agony, or whatever.
You guys, I've never seen Fern Gully, but I imagine that this is sort of like the premise is that it's just like a magical fairy place. But no, it's not. It always rains. And then and literally I'm like, as he's leaving, he's like, what are the things? Can you just like, what should I have made sure to remember? Like, help me remember. And I'm like, did you bring food? Did you bring tent? Did you bring extra socks?
Extra socks, man.
He leaves for 3 days. He goes with 20 pairs of socks, right?
It's probably not enough.
No. And literally and we don't text very much because there's no cell service in Fern Gully. and so like he texts me like once a day. And honestly, looking at the weather, but like this year, it's not like it might drizzle. It was like, it's gonna fucking storm.
Oh.
And I was like, and he was like, maybe we oughta. And I'm like, and then he's like, no, I made a commitment. We're going. Man, sometimes I think camping is like borderline, like it maybe should be in the DSM, like it's like a mental illness.
Oh, God.
Because there is, so then like he was sort of like, oh, and he was sort of, at one point, for some reason, I was like, well, you'll really appreciate this, Jen. I was like, well, would you like for us to come with you? And then there was a pause, and he looked at me, and we were in my kitchen. I was at one end, and he was at the other.
Yeah.
And I really, as the words came out of my mouth, you have experienced this with me, Jen.
Sure.
Like, I really do. I often say things, and they're like aspirational for me. Like, I'm like, I really mean them. Like, I would like to make you happy. I would like to like do this thing because I know it would make you happy. And the words like floated out of my mouth like in a cartoon toward him. And there was a beat of silence, like I have written many times in a romance novel. And he looked at me, and then I said, I'm so sorry. I definitely can't do that.
I don't mean that at all.
Immediately rolled back. He didn't even say a word.
Didn't have to. No.
He was like, you would hate it. And I was like,
and you'd make everybody miserable because you would be miserable.
I would be the worst person. And I mean, like, in perfect weather, I would be fine. But like in mud. Yeah. So anyway, he's somewhere sleeping in the mud, everyone. And having a great time, which just feels... all of civilization has moved us to hotels. And like we went like chimpanzee to like Neanderthal to like
the Hyatt,
human,
yeah.
And now to like the Hyatt.
Here's what I will say. I when we were much younger and lived in California, we would car camp, which was like the only thing I would do. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like you drive up to the campsite,
and then you like
whatever.
lay in the back of your Honda or your Subaru.
No, you still have like a tent or whatever, but you're not like backpacking in or whatever. And I want to say like camping in California is beautiful.
That is where Eric began his camping.
You know what I mean? Like
yes.
You're literally like in the most beautiful landscapes you can imagine.
He's chasing that high here in New England.
And then like I came here and we went camping once and I was like, why would you do this? It's just flat and a forest. Like it didn't have the same, like I'm in Lake Tahoe. You know what I mean?
This is like Emily Henry loves a like Michigan lake.
Yeah.
And it's like, there are a lot of bugs there. Like it's just different in certain places in the world. Like anyway, we've talked a lot about this in the pod. Eric probably has deleted a number of the things I have said already.
It's actually, it's sort of a funny transition because last night, Mr. Reed's Romance and I watched this movie called Send Help. Have you heard of this movie?
Tell me.
Okay. It's basically like what I would now call like maybe like light horror. Because there's like a little like, like some blood and guts or whatever. But basically the plot is, and it's with Rachel McAdams. It starts off with her being like the dorkiest, like most awkward colleague in like the office, but she's the one who does all the work. And she had been promised a promotion at her workplace by her former boss, but then that guy dies and the son takes over. And he is just like a real douchebag. And he essentially is like kind of just planning to do the same thing. I'm just going to like use her to do all the work so that like my buddies and I can like, sit around and talk about golf. And then they're on a plane to go to like Bangkok for like a work thing. And the plane crashes. And she and the douchebag, like, wind up on this deserted island. And she...
Oh, wait, I've seen... And she hates him so much now, like...
Well, but she's always sort of hated him, but she is addicted to Survivor. And so she, like, is the only one who can, like, do things.
And then doesn't she turn into the villain a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And that's kind of like...
Listen, I'm for it.
Yeah. I actually had a really...
Was it rewarding?
It was really fun to watch. It really was. We had a great time. I mean, at the end, I definitely watched a lot of the end, like kind of through my eyes.
Oh, okay.
Like, with my fingers over my eyes because it was like gross or whatever. But yeah, it was great. It was really fun. But yeah, like the whole idea of like, I don't know, just like really being at the mercy of the elements, right? Is really, I mean, it's great storytelling and has been. It's the Odyssey, right? For a reason, right?
It really is. And so anyway, before we get into it, everyone, welcome to Fated Mates. I'm Sarah McLean. I read romance novels and I write them.
And I'm Jennifer Prokop, a romance reader and editor.
And this week we're talking about the weather. And we're talking about the weather for lots of reasons. This is a sneaky way for us to talk about the fact that I have a paperback book out this month.
So fun.
The paperback version of These Summer Storms is out. But also we're talking about it because I feel like you all really like it when we have like craft episodes.
Yeah.
And while this isn't a true craft episode, I feel like I'm going to kick it to Jen, my English teacher friend, to talk a little bit about how weather operates in fiction.
And I mean, so everybody... It's like a classic. Okay, so I'm going to like back up and talk a little bit about how I teach symbolism to kids, right? Which maybe I've done before, which one of the things I have always been like sort of theoretically frustrated by is that, and I don't know if you all remember this, right? You're sitting in high school English and the teacher asks like, what a symbol is in the text? And like, you know, the two kids who are just like, are the nerdiest are just like having a conversation with the teacher about something that is making you think that's bullshit.
Surely not.
Right? Come on. Come the fuck on. You know what I mean? And I will say, like, even authors I think, like, sort of play into this a little bit. There's that, like, famous meme about, like the green curtains or something on the window. Right? It's like, a, you know, like...
A Venn diagram.
Yeah.
You're not
like,
talking about
right,
the Venn diagram.
like what English teachers say it means versus what the author was thinking or whatever.
And they're two separate circles.
Yeah. And I would say, like... I'm fine with that, right?
Yeah.
Like
the book is not mine once you're reading it.
Correct. And I think the other thing about like kind of symbolism and our appeal to like sort of figurative language and imagery. And listen, I teach 7th grade. I'm not trying to talk about this at a college level. I'm not trying to like do this, right? Like kind of the most elevated version of this. I'm trying to do like the most basic version of this when I'm teaching this because I want everyone to understand that like when we appeal to that kind of language, when we appeal to figurative language and imagery like this, we are doing something that people have done in storytelling for thousands of years, right? I mean, so like the Odyssey is something people are talking about because of like, you know, that racist dirtbag. But, you know, when you read the Odyssey, right, like monsters, the weather, the things that are getting in Odysseus's way as he tries to return home, right, are just like symbolic of problems, right? Like, you know, like literally, like, what is it that you have to get past in order to be able to like return home after so many years at war? Right? You're literally like not ready. These men themselves are monstrous in some way.
Yes.
And so he has to be like sort of stripped of all of that, right? And all of the misapprehensions he has and all of the like terrible ways he has learned to think and feel while away at war in order to be able to return home.
Yes.
And so when we think about weather, right, especially the things that we experience as people, right? It doesn't have to be fancy, right? It's colors, it's animals, it's weather, it's our natural world. And so I think one of the things that I'm always trying to teach kids is sort of like the symbolism conversation is not bullshit, right? Like and it's something all of us can access. So I teach, like, I have these like rules of symbolism and I'm always like trying to be silly with it, but like, it's true. The first one I always start off with is like, we read the book House of the Scorpion. And I'm like, my first rule of symbolism is like, animals are always symbols. Okay, everybody, animals are always symbols. Because and what I say to the kids is like, could this book be called House of the Golden Retriever? This book is about a drug lord who's cloning people in order to like steal their organs, everybody. And like kids immediately are like, nah. Like they get
it intuitively.
They intuitively get it because I explained to them, that's because you grew up on picture books. And in picture books, I was like, let's say I was writing a picture book about an animal that's really fast. What would it be? And they're all like, a jaguar. Like, this is hardwired into us by the kinds of stories we tell from the time you're little, right? And fairy tales do this, right? And so I think one of the things and that's like the next rule of symbolism is like fairy tale figures and monsters are also symbols because these are just reflections of, right, our world. So anyway, the thing about weather is we all experience it unless you live in Southern California, and I kind of hate you for it. But, you know, I mean, I love you and I'm jealous. That sort of thing is what books do really well. And authors might even do without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Jen, you know this story, but I'll tell it to everybody. So Jen is a 7th grade English teacher. I have a 7th grader who is taking English. And she seemed to notice about, 3 weeks ago that she had a writer in the house.
Homework help.
And no, it wasn't homework help, but she was in her room doing homework, and it was something about, they're reading The Outsiders right now, or they just finished The Outsiders, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And she was doing like a project on The Outsiders, or writing a little paper or essay on The Outsiders. And she walked into my office and she was like, "Mom, can I ask you a question about writing?" And I was like, yes.
I've been waiting for this moment.
And she said, "Do you actually know what the theme of your book is?" And I was like,
"Yes,
yeah.
I do."
And she goes, "No."
That's astounding.
And I was like, "No, I do though. Like, I do think about that." And then she goes, "Does everybody?" And I was like, "No, not every writer like thinks about theme." But I was like, I'm going to guess that S.E. Hinton did think about theme when she wrote The Outsiders.
The Outsiders.
First of all, there's way too much Robert Frost reference in that book for her not to have thought about theme.
Say Gold Pony Boy. Wait, have I told
today.
you my whole Outsiders theory? Keep going and I'll tell it to you.
No,
funny.
I mean, but I am interested in hearing it because this is not about winter. This is not about storms, but the interesting thing here is that, like, my daughter, who has been absolutely disinterested in any text that is about a boy, like from birth, is really into The Outsiders.
The Outsiders. Now, listen, I think I'm mostly speaking. I think I'm actually speaking about a lot of Americans. I don't know if this is a book.
I wonder if it's even a text that's globally like.
No,
revered.
I think no. I think this is a very American text, and I will tell you why. Or it's like,
is it because of Matt Dillon?
No, believe it or not, no.
You
Maybe
guys,
I've said
also,
this already.
The cast of that movie is unreal.
Yeah, it is. It's really all the heavy hitters of 1987 right in one place. You could have like landed a bomb in there and just wiped out
cinema for another generation.
Exactly. No, here's my thing about The Outsiders. It's fascinating. If you haven't read it in a while, listen, people love this book. Americans love this book. And it's fascinating because even people who are not outsiders, who are themselves essentially like rich kids or privileged in some way, read it and associate themselves with the outsider group.
With these like little dirt bags. I love them.
And it's really fascinating to me how our inability to see ourselves as the socias, right? Like we as a people are convinced that we're the outsiders even when we're not. And I don't know if this is like, I actually think I'm probably really specifically talking about like white readers, right? Mm-hmm. But it is a fascinating insight into like the American character, I think, that book. So anyway, but it is good. It's a banger. If you haven't read it since you were a kid.
I haven't read it since I was in middle school probably, so. But yeah, the report from, the other end of the house is it's terrific work, everyone.
It is great. Did you guys watch the movie?
No, but it's on my list. No, we're going to do it. We were going to do it this weekend, and we probably won't and we might do it tonight, but man.
What a time.
Big. She went from Lord of the Flies to The Outsiders, and let me tell you something. One was a heavy no for her, and the other was a resounding yes. So, and she read Laurie Halse Anderson's Speak in between there, which was also a yes. But there's a lot going on in that class. I don't know. Bless the English teachers is what I'm saying.
This week's episode of Fated Mates is brought to you by Rachel Griffiths, author of Just for the Season.
So we all met Lady Charlotte, the heroine of this book, in Rachel's first book, The Trouble with Anna, which I put on the best debuts of last year list. And Charlotte has this kind of madcap, slightly manic energy that made her a fantastic secondary character in that book who you just like wanted to spend time with. And now we get to spend a whole book with her. And she brings that madcap energy directly into this book and causes an immense scandal right away, a scandal so big that the queen herself has decreed that Charlotte must marry before the end of the summer or else. So, yikes. Once there's a royal decree, you have really no choice. And she does what any self-respecting young woman would do. She plans an elaborate summer house party and invites every single eligible bachelor in England.
I love a house party.
So there's a brooding artist. There's a handsome Russian prince. There's one of the richest men in all of Europe. And unfortunately, there is also the Duke of Warwick, who Charlotte did not invite, but who Charlotte's brother sent to the country house party to make sure his sister stays in line while he is out of the country. Problem is, the Duke of Warwick and Charlotte have a past, and it's full of secret letters and passionate glances and maybe some other things that might be a little scandalous. And now she's trying to find a husband and try to avoid him, and he is no longer interested in being avoided.
All right. Well, this sounds spectacular. And this is a pre-order campaign, everybody. So if you click on the chapter title, it's going to take you right to the pre-order page at the Rip Bodice, including potentially you could check out an event at the Brooklyn store with Rachel in the middle of July. This also gives you about a month to read the first book, The Trouble with Anna, before you tee up and get ready for this one. So thanks to Rachel Griffiths for sponsoring this week's episode. So let's talk a little bit about storms. I know we've talked about storms this whole episode, and
it's funny because I really love weather. I love weather in a book.
Yeah.
And I think, before we get into storms, like there is this sort of writer advice that gets kicked around. It's like attributed to Vonnegut, I think. And it's like never start a book with weather.
Yeah.
And it's referenced, like the kind of clearest cliche is like it was a dark and stormy night, right?
Right, of course.
Which comes from an 1830 novel called Paul Clifford by Edward Bulwer Lytton. And then of course was, for the record, Bulwer Lytton also coined the phrase, the pen is mightier than the sword, and the great unwashed, and the almighty dollar. So like, these are
Shakespeare for our time.
Listen. So it is a sort of like an interesting argument that like he was a guy who knew how to write. And also, cliche only becomes cliche because it sticks around.
Sure, of course.
And it was a dark and stormy night as a banger of a beginning if you've never read anything that begins that way, right? If you've never read a Peanuts cartoon.
Well, that's the thing I was like, when you were like, it was written by, and I was like, Snoopy?
Yeah, exactly. Charles Schulz, a great American auteur. I did look this up today, and this is the line. This is the first line of Paul Clifford. It was a dark and stormy night. The rain fell in torrents, except at occasional intervals when it was checked by a violent gust of wind that swept up the streets. For it is in London that our scene lies, rattling along the housetops and fiercely agitating the scanty flame of the lamps that struggled against the darkness. A solid beginning.
It really is.
I'm in London. It's dark. There's a terrible rainstorm. It's very windy. Everyone here is struggling, I assume. I don't know the plot of Paul Clifford.
One of my favorite short stories is The Dead by James Joyce, where like sometimes weather is just like a symbolic echo of the way a character is feeling, right? Sometimes it's mood setting. Sometimes it's plot.
Weather is genre. I'm going to argue.
I like this. All right, let's go.
Okay, wait. And I just proved it right because I just clicked through on Wikipedia too. So this book, Paul Clifford, was an early example of a Newgate novel. And Newgate novels, everybody's going to be like, oh, of course, Sarah likes a Newgate novel, because I do. They were published in the early 1800s, and they glamorized criminal life. Like, they were all about highwaymen or thieves or like...
Of course you love it. That's the fact
that bangers all. Okay, but here's the thing. So like if you argue that genre, and I would argue, okay, I'm going to say some things and people are going to fight me, but whatever, it's my podcast. Other channels are available.
That's right. This podcast is free.
If you argue that romance and horror, at least, are born out of like the Gothic, and one might say like sci-fi, if you say Frankenstein was the first, you know, if you say that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was the first sci-fi novel, arguably that was also born out of the Gothic, right? Gothic is really about like dark, atmospheric, weather shit.
Yes.
So like if you can trace it through like, you know, I don't know, Jane Eyre and like Rebecca and all of those, you know, through to Lisa Kleypas or, you know, Elizabeth Hoyt,
right?
It's sort of a clear, like, weather belongs in genre. And if you also tie it back to Jane Ann Krentz's, like, genre carries the myth and your point about the Odyssey, like, weather belongs in genre.
Yeah.
Because it does. Because it is in the storm drain, right? The clown is in the storm drain. And we find it because of the water, right? Like, it's living down there in the muck where the water goes after a storm.
Yeah.
And so, like, it just feels like weather belongs with us. Like, we should be able to, when we're world building, we are using weather. We just are.
Well, and to like return to like your opening, right? Like, this is craft. I think like you're like, right? Like, so you're talking about it as like a writer. And I want to hear you say more about like how, like, what part of it is like on purpose and what part of it kind of feels like the magic of writing. And then I can talk a little bit about it as like a reader.
Yeah. So sometimes it's both, right? It depends on the book entirely. So these summer storms, okay.
Well done,
weather
sir.
has meaning, everyone, right? Like, so storms, I mean, like the family's name is Storm. The technology that the father has invented is Storm. Like, it's all, the family is a storm. We're about to sit with them, right? For a week of them being storm, a like whirling storm emotionally for them. Post-death, right? Grief is a storm. All of these things are like very clear. Like, it's not, I'm not hiding that, you know, I'm making a point with a storm.
You're right. And by repeating it that often, the layers tell you that it's important. I mean, I think, right, as a reader, I would also say that. Like, you see storm once, you're like, but like when it's cooked into every layer, that's when you as a reader should be like, oh, the author is really trying to direct me to something. Yeah. They're saying that this is important.
And Rhode Island, which is where the book is set, which I chose not because of any reason other than, I mean, initially it was because I was there. I am from there. It is a place I know. It is a place I literally was there during the pandemic writing this book, right? Mm-hmm. Rhode Island has these wicked summer storms, like thunderstorms that shake the land. And it's awesome. It's so cool. Mm-hmm. And so I was, you know, so part of it is like, I just really like a storm, right? So, but that said, when I plotted storms, and I did plot Storm, it was the first and only book I've ever plotted. Mm-hmm. And I had it, I mean, Jen knows this, it lived on this behind me. Jen and I do this on Zoom, and it lived behind me on little sticky notes for like a year. Mm-hmm. And the way that it was structured, because there were so many different characters, was I had different colors for every character. And then it was broken up into thirds. And it was like the end of Act 1, the end of Act 2, the end of Act 3. Or the climax of Act 3. And I was like, well, obviously.
Yeah.
The climax of this book is a storm. Like, and they're on a private island. The storm is going to knock out the power. It's going to throw them all into chaos. Like the final moment of test for this family. And so, like, it was sort of nice to know I was writing to the storm. Yes. And I used to sort of say to people would be like, you know, people who I had really like plotted the book with would say like, how's it going? And I would say, oh, I'm almost at the storm. Or like, I'm writing the storm. You know, and then like everybody sort of knew like, okay, I was on the final bit.
Right.
So but then I've written other storms in other books, right? Like I sort of I think I've probably told the story. I wrote a storm in 11 Scandals to Start to Win a Duke's Heart. Similar thing. They were sort of trapped in the rain. That was a different thing because I think that hero was so difficult. He was so like proper and perfect and he wouldn't smash. He wouldn't. He was like, I can't, like, I'm too respectful of her. Like, I can't. And I was like, how am I ever going to get them to do it? And I really got to a place where I was like, what am I going to do to like break him? And I wrote a storm to like push them into each other to block out the rest of the world. And like I'll never forget, I was in my apartment like in Brooklyn and I lived on a main street and I was typing like and the sky turned green in the book and I looked up and the sky was like a weird color in my apartment and I got up and I was like, oh my God, look at me. I'm like, and I walked to the window and there was a tornado in Brooklyn, which never has happened. And it ripped the tree up across the street and it tumbled the tree into a plate glass window of like a storefront on the corner. And I thought, gosh, I've never really thought of trees as being like so easily.
Yeah. Right.
And then I was like, oh shit, they're not. And I grabbed the dog and ran into the bathroom. But, so I think
very Midwestern dad coded of you to just stand there and watch rather than get yourself to safety. You had it in you all along, Sarah.
Exactly.
You're like, one day I'm going to meet these friends from Ohio, and now it's all going to make sense.
Where do you watch the tornado from? And I'm going to be like, the window.
The window, obviously.
The glass window.
The only place for it.
So I think it's both. I'm obviously like, I'm more interested in daytime. Like I write darkness a lot. Right. I'm like a lot of what happens in my books happens at night because I like criminals and I am sort of birthed of the Newgate novel. But about weather too. I mean like rain, blizzards. I'm like, listen, nobody likes a storm like a romance likes a storm.
Oh yeah. Well, because it's about feelings.
And like if two people are trapped in a place.
Right. Oh yeah.
Nowhere to go. But each other.
That's the thing about like snowed in, right? Which is sometimes we like sort of talk about forced proximity overall, right? But like forced proximity can be made by a lot of reasons for that, right? Or only one bed, but like snowed in. We are literally saying, right? Like almost every good snowed in book. I mean, think about it, right? It's not just that like they're snowed in by the weather. It's that this one of the characters has been cold to the other, right? And then all of a sudden, the snowed in is like now they're inside and now they're together and now there's a fire and like
they have to warm up.
Yes, all of the right. And so like you might be like, Jen, it's too much. And listen, I want to say that.
Listen, it probably is sometimes.
Fine. If it's too much for you, it's too much. Like you can just
I'm sure there were people reading storms going, okay, we get it.
So one of the things I tell my students about like reading this way, like sort of paying attention to symbol and paying attention to metaphor and right, like really sort of like allowing yourself to luxuriate in that, you can do it or not. And right, so I tell the kids, like I was like, okay, have you ever been to like a fancy restaurant, right, where every meal just tastes so delicious? And even if you don't know why, you can tell that there is a chef who does in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? And that is like the experience of reading a book where the author is really a master chef. And I said, so like if I go with my friend Sarah and we're sitting there, I might just be like, wow, this tastes delicious. And Sarah, who loves to cook, might be like, oh, well, there's a hint of rosemary or whatever the fuck, right? And my point is like, you can still just enjoy it as a delicious meal without wanting to like tease out the ingredients. But if you are interested in teasing out the ingredients, right? Like one of the like most basic ways to just like let yourself pay attention is to like let yourself pay attention to the way that the author is leveraging, right? Like the outside world to either like echo or like contrast whatever the characters themselves are feeling. And so you do it or not.
So the other night we were watching People We Meet on Vacation, and I had not seen it yet. And so we watched it together, and it was raining. So at the end of this book, at the end of the movie, it rains, and it's raining and raining and raining, and it's torrential raining, right? And it's like,
don't step off the bus, rain.
You're going to get swept away in Barcelona rain in this case. And so, and there's this kind of moment where like it starts to rain and then they separate, and then like they like separate, and then it cuts back. We've seen this 1,000 times. It cuts from one to the other. They're in different places. They're thinking about each other. And then he turns around and my daughter goes, "Oh, he's going to run in the rain." Now listen,
I am loving this.
She is 12. Right? Like, and she does not know, because this is I think I've said this recently on an episode. My favorite thing about being with her at this point, ingesting media, is that every single thing that happens that feels cliche to us
is new to her,
fresh to her. And then I'm starting, as somebody who writes in genre, right? Who writes in a genre where the world just shits on us so much for trope, right? Yeah. Oh no, here's another only one bed situation.
Right.
My daughter is a fresh human brain that is ingesting these things and going, what a joy.
Yeah.
He is going to run in the rain.
Yes, he is.
He is going to walk through a field in England in the fog to her, right? Like, and she is like, I fucking love it. I fucking love it. And I think there is something just like reptilian in weather.
Yes.
Right? And then, of course, that's
because
reptilian.
You're in the world. It's literally
because we crawled out of the muck into the rain.
Agree.
And listen, I want to say that the reptilian instinct to say, like, here Poppy and Alex are on the Barcelona balcony in the pouring rain kissing. You said Rachel McAdams. Here are Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling in The Notebook. Like, he catches her into his arms and lifts her up, and they make out in the rain. Here are Darcy and Elizabeth in the rain. Here are, like, whatever, every single beautiful rain moment. Right? Is there a Hudson and Ilya weather moment?
In our hearts, Sarah.
In our hearts. Someday. There wasn't a budget for a rain machine. Right? Like, it's, whatever. I could name a million of them, right? It's Moonstruck in the Snow. Like, it's just like every single one of these. And they feel... yes, tropey, yes, cliche in their own way, but like romance should feel reptilian.
Yeah.
We should be like out of our minds should not, our like intellects should not be going, what does the rain mean?
Right.
We should just be like pure fucking feelings in that moment. This week's episode of Fated Mates is sponsored by Lulu Morris, author of The Dating Pact.
Okay, so this is, Sarah, your favorite celebrity normie, and what we've got here is Ellie. She is a nurse at the Royal Hospital, and she and her bestie essentially sneak their way into a high-end Hollywood party. And she ends up taking infamous actor Alex King home with her, not out of a sexy reason, but because this dummy is too drunk to remember what hotel he's staying at. So
yes,
when the paparazzi catch them together the next morning, their new friendship suddenly has really big stakes because the tabloids just splash them all over the front page. And Alex is like, okay, I'm going to strike while the iron is hot here. I need a +1 because his brother is getting married to his ex, and he has been made like the bad guy in the press. So he figures if he brings this beautiful new date, the public will finally see him as moving on, and maybe the celebrity like kind of energy of it will increase ticket sales to this play that he is trying to keep open. It's a destination wedding in the Bahamas.
Of course it is.
Ellie is kind of like, this is my nightmare. I am just a plus-sized regular girl. I'm surrounded by gorgeous celebrities. So what is going to happen when Alex is sort of like, all of a sudden these fake feelings feel really quite real? Is the dating pact going to change and ruin her life?
Listen, I would be one clicking this book anyway, as you all know, but here's a piece of information that's going to make you want to do it. Lulu Morris is a pen name for Lucy Morris, who writes those sexy Viking romances that we all love so much.
Perfect.
So if you want to read this fake dating, celebrity normie, plus size romance at a destination wedding in the Bahamas, right now, you can do that in print, ebook, or audiobook. If your podcasting app supports it, you can click on the chapter title right now to be taken to buy the book. Thanks to Lulu Morris for sponsoring this week's episode. And it doesn't always have to be the kiss, right? Like I have some like examples of books where I think like, in fact, I think I don't have a single kiss. I have an almost kiss on my list. But like places where like the weather has really fucking done the job. And what I would say also is that I specifically did not choose a single snowed in book. Well,
same.
In a different, I have one where they like sort of are accidentally snowed in, but it's not, the snowed in is not the important piece.
Yeah, I have one, I think, where snow is kind of involved, but again, same thing.
But snowed in feels like kind of a different thing.
Yeah, well, and I think like we've talked about it already, and like you all get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Episodes.
Yeah, right.
We've done multiple episodes. Also, every holiday episode we've ever done has involved somebody being snowed in. Sometimes even with Santa.
Only if you're lucky. You've been a very good girl. Well, okay.
So what I was looking for is books for like, I mean, you know what it is? It's that like feet kicking romances on mesh feeling.
Yes.
And it's because somebody's getting wet or more, you know.
I literally have an example of that. So amazing. I'm excited for it.
All right, you go first.
Okay, well, I'm literally going to start with that then. All right, so I'm going to talk about Struck Speechless by Tati Richardson. This is the second book in a series that I have been really enjoying, where essentially the kind of conceit of the series is that each of the heroines is going to have to like grapple with a loss of their senses. And this is clearly like a symbolic loss, right? So in the first book, which was called Losing Sight, she has to get glasses. And when she gets them, she can see people's like kind of vibe and aura, okay? And in this one, in Struck Speechless, our heroine's name is Jackie. And she is like a hot shot, like a real hot shot, like sports agent. But she is also the smartest person in the room. She is not at all interested in your bullshit. She is wildly successful. So she is just like the complete baller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and what happens is she runs into Antonio Steele, who she had like some sort of like brief affair, one night stand with. I can't actually remember the details. And they have like this sort of, I remember. It's like basically a perfect like 24 hours together type of thing. And then she heard something, she overheard him talking, kind of drew the wrong conclusion and like stormed off and has basically like been blowing him off ever since. Well, he wasn't a football player. Now he's an agent at her agency, and kind of like, for complicated romance reasons, they have to work together. And she just like won't listen to him.
Mm.
And so then there's sort of like this magical moment where she like loses her voice. And like everybody gets that this is because she needs to start fucking listening.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so because she cannot talk, she is trying to land this boxer who has like left his agent, has like scammed him, and this guy needs a new agent, and she knows that like she can do it and her agency can do it. So because of this, her agency sends Antonio and Jackie together down to like this resort in Mexico, it's really pretty funny. Like the setup is that it's like I don't know, like everything's vegan and holistic and you're not supposed to ever leave the resort. But like Jackie is just like, I cannot handle this bullshit. Of course, they get stuck in the same suite. They think, like that they're a couple rather than two different people. And so there's a day that they go out and, someone kind of casually says that like a storm is coming. And she's like looking up, like, what do you mean? It is beautiful outside. Then like they go about their day and Antonio like bribes their maid to like get them out of this like resort into like the real town and go to a restaurant that like locals would go to. And they go and they dance and like they really connect. They find this boxer, like, right? All these kind of good things happen. And they get back to the hotel room and they start making out and it's really sexy, right? Mm-hmm. It is just like all this explosive chemistry finally is like happening and then the storm breaks, right? And so literally just as he goes to like get down in there and start eating his meal, it's like lightning crashing. And I was like, I am not even mad about this.
No, perfect.
Well done, Tati Richardson. Well
Lightning.
Done. Lightning. It was chef kiss perfect. So this
terrific
is
work.
A great book. If you haven't read the first one or this one, it definitely, you have to like really be like, okay, all of this is just set up for like this person's struggle.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them. They're really fun and usually really funny. And I think one of my favorite things about Tati's books is she just writes really kick-ass heroines. So Jackie is just a powerhouse and I love her. So that struck speechless.
I haven't read that one and now I'm putting on my list. I was going to do not interested in your bullshit, but I'm actually going to go from lightning because
why lightning? Sure.
And I put this on the best of the year list last year and I just can't, look, Tempest is in the name. I got to bring it back. Lorraine Heath's A Tempest of Desire, everyone. Now listen, here is a historical that is just going to make you, there's a reason why weather works so well. Yeah. Let me paint a picture. We are on a private island off the coast of England where a very, very tortured, very sad, very dookie hero lives. Sure. And he's there and he's tortured and he has had a rough time of it. He was in an accident and some stuff happened and now he's like scarred and broken. And so he's on his private island in his private castle, on his private cliff, looking over his private sea, in his private storm. And he takes himself out there like, I don't know, in my head, like real Washington Irving style with like a big cloak. And he's got a lantern and he is very lonely, everyone. And when a big, giant, lonely duke gets lonely, he just gets a little horny. So he's out there and it is storming. It is, English Channel storming out there. But he's out there walking the cliffs like a ghost. Sure. Like a haunt. And he standing at the edge of the cliffs and he's just feeling real rough. And there's so much storm happening and he just screams to the rain, "My kingdom for a woman!" And the thunder crashes and lightning shoots out of the sky and illuminates on the beach below a woman. Unmoving, collapsed in the sand, connected to what looks like a large wicker basket. He doesn't understand, but there she is. He is called to the heavens and they have delivered him a woman.
It's honestly so great. It's like Crash Landing on You, Victorian style.
The greatest beginning to a romance novel ever written. And so, of course, he's like, holy shit.
Whoa, man.
Yeah, he's like, look at me. He runs down to the beachhead and he turns her over and he looks at her and he's like, he holds his lantern to her face and there she is, rained on, unconscious. And he's like, holy shit, I know this woman. I know this woman because she is London's greatest courtesan. Currently being like, protected by some earl somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he is so obsessed with her because for like a year prior, her benefactor basically offered him one night with her in a card game. And this guy had the winning hand, but didn't play it because he respected her so much and didn't want to win her that way. He didn't want her to feel like a prize to be won. He wanted her to want him. And so he basically he left this place, he's obsessed with this woman, but he refuses. He's so obsessed and he's so respectful of her that his obsession has basically driven him away to his private island, along with other traumatic things.
Sure.
And now she's there. Come to him via hot air balloon, Jen.
It's honestly so amazing. It is.
And so she wakes up in his house, and this storm has raged and raged and raged. Rages for several days. She's been knocked over the head. It's just the two of them. He doesn't have any servants there. She's wrapped in his, clothes. So they at night sew her, he helps her sew her balloon back together. Listen, this book is bananas. It's so Lorraine Heath. These two are and they are so hot for each other. And it is perfect because he's you're still protected by this other person. And I don't think of you as a item to be won. And she is this motherfucker doesn't actually want me or like me even. I know he had a winning hand at that card game and he specifically didn't win me because he clearly doesn't want to fuck me, even though everyone wants to fuck her. I want to fuck her. And so, anyway, it's perfect in every way. It's a Lorraine Heath, so it's great. And then it's he has this it turns out he has this lovely family, and his brother shows up and is oh, hey, what's going on here? And then, of course, he's I can't, no one can know she was here. And then she goes back to London to her benefactor, and it's a whole thing. And you think how is this ever going to work out? Because, respect and weather.
Yeah.
Hot air balloons.
Sure.
Lorraine Heath, you absolute genius. So that is A Tempest of Desire by Lorraine Heath. My Kingdom for a Woman. Thunder, lightning.
Have you seen Crash Landing on You? Have you seen that K-drama?
And everybody says I have to watch it. And it's one of those things that I just have on my list.
Well, it's 16 episodes and each episode is a literal movie length, but so I never finished it because you know how I am. But the beginning is pretty great. She basically does get swept up into a storm and blown. She's in
in Twister, the cow in Twister, just up and
no, she has on some sort of she's in some sort of contraption and she gets blown from some
sort of contraption.
It is literally a single jetpack type contraction, whatever. And she gets blown from South Korea into North Korea.
I mean, bad luck there, but also good luck because of
she meets the most handsome man that exists in the world.
Yeah,
so, good job. Well done.
He's just hanging out there waiting for ladies to blow in.
That storm wanted her to be there with him, and that's really all there is to it.
This week's episode of
my turn.
Jen's going to say it.
This week's episode of Fated Mates is brought to you by W by Wattpad Books, publishers of Sabrina Blackberry's Half Wild.
Our heroine Wren has spent her life hiding her truth, which is she is only half human, and the world fears what that might make her. Only her adoptive father, Bryn, and her witch mentor, Mila, care whether she lives or dies. And when her village is attacked and Bryn is murdered, Wren has no choice but to flee into the dangerous forest. Don't worry, though, Jen. She is in the forest, saved twice by a terrifyingly alluring fae from the north named Thane. And he offers her a chance at a new life in a place called the Wilds. If she goes with him, then she can leave her life of hiding behind, but only if she can keep her connection to witches a secret. Of course, Ren has spent her whole life being taught to fear the Fae, and now that she is with Thane in the north, she knows that she has to navigate this world that will kill her simply because she exists. Except she's got a pesky seal on her back, Jen, and when it starts to burn, hiding her gifts becomes impossible, and every secret she's kept threatens to destroy her and the man she has come to trust.
Ooh, so if you are interested in this slow burn romantasy, this is the first book in the WYLDE series. Sabrina also has written the Enchanted Fates series, if you enjoyed that one. And this is a great novel of self-discovery and fae mythology. It's available in print and ebook. And if your podcasting app supports it, you can click on the chapter title right now to be taken to buy the book. Thanks to W by Wattpad Books and Sabrina Blackberry for sponsoring this week's episode. Okay, so for me, I think I'm going to go from like lowest stakes to highest stakes. So I'm going to go next to a book I put on the best of a couple years ago called Beautiful Russian Monster by Odette Stone. Odette. Now, listen, everybody.
Odette, we love you here.
I went back. I don't write a whole lot of Goodreads reviews anymore, but on this one, I wrote, it's like reading a Jason Bourne movie.
Yes. Wait, is this the one where they travel all over the world?
Yes.
Her grandfather has been abducted?
Exactly. So this is Victor and Blair.
Wait, this is lowest stakes or highest stakes?
No, this is middle stakes. There's a higher stakes weather coming up. Okay.
All right. Your grandfather being abducted is not high enough. Who cares about grandpa?
I'm talking about the weather part of it. The weather, like how much danger are you
Fair
in the
enough.
weather?
Fair enough.
In the first one, like they're inside. The storm is outside. The lightning is just, a symbol. But here, the weather is really going to fuck them up because Victor and Blair are, they're traveling all over. Essentially, her grandfather has been abducted and is being held on like a, I don't know, they have to get to Singapore, I think. So they are basically like planes, trains, and automobiles all through like the Philippines, Vietnam.
Nobody can
exactly.
know
So
they're getting there.
So they go to Vietnam because a friend of his has the ability, like an old friend has the ability to make like fake papers, like fake passports for them.
Yeah.
And he is like basically gonna, he's like the Russian mobster and she's just a regular girl and I can't even remember why he helps her, but he's helping her. And, but here's the thing, you all, like sometimes when I tell you, I understand that like we have a podcast where I'm constantly like, and then this happened, blah, blah, blah. But like this scene I'm about to describe to you is burned into my romance brain forever. Okay. Because when I read it, I was like, I don't think I've ever read anything like this and I'm not mad about it. Okay. So they're in Nha Dong, I think is the name of it, which is like a coastal city of Vietnam, north of Ho Chi Minh City. And they had been like traveling across, again, planes, trains, and automobiles. And they get to his friend's house and they need papers and a typhoon is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're like even on foot at this point. And he's like, oh yeah, it's going to be a bad one. You can tell. And she's like, wait, how do you know? And he's like, well, we're in Vietnam and there would be the sounds of a million birds and insects and whatever. And like, do you hear how quiet it is? And she's like, oh shit. Yeah, there's not a single sound of nature. So they go to get the fake papers from his friend and then they have like a hotel room and they're trying to get the friend to come with them and the friend won't do it. So they like go on to the hotel, which is basically like a cement block hotel. And they get in there and he's like, all right, well, let's shower because who knows how long it's going to be before this typhoon starts. And then it's going to be bad. And she's like, she jumps in the shower and comes back out and sees him like preparing the room in a way that she has like never seen before. Like he is pulled the mattress off of the bed and put it in front of like the sort of sliding glass door out to the balcony. And Then he takes a shower, and listen, there's only a hand towel for him, Sarah. There's only a hand towel. And someone has knocked at the door, and he has told her, don't open the door. So he has to come out of the bathroom in his hand towel to answer the door. And she's like, look
and
at
everybody,
that man.
Odette Stone heroes are like 8.5 feet tall.
Sure. And she's admiring him. So he goes back in and he like wipes out the tub with the towel and lays like the bedding that he has taken off the mattress into the bathtub and then pulls a chair into the bathroom. And I'm like, how big is this hotel bathroom? But I'm going with it because it's a Jason Bourne movie, not reality. And then he brings her in and he tells her, okay, I am literally so exhausted. I have to sleep for like an hour. Wake me up in an hour. And then he pulls the teak dresser into the bathroom with them. Again, how big is this bathroom? I don't know. And barricades the door.
It's a romance bathroom.
It's a romance bathroom. And tells her,
as big as it needs to be,
don't leave the bathroom. And she's like, how could I? I can't even get past the dresser.
Yeah.
He's like, just wake me up in an hour. So he sleeps for like an hour and maybe 90 minutes and wakes up when she essentially like starts cuddling with him, like the body parts of him that are hanging out of the tub. And he's like, what's going on? How long have I been asleep? She's like, an hour and a half. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to get out so you can get in and sleep. And she's like, she instead gets in there with him. All right, now everybody, romance bathtub apparently is a comfortable place because these two.
Romance bathtub.
These two.
Not a single,
are so exhausted, Sarah, that they just continue to sleep in there for like 7 hours.
Through the whole storm.
And then they wake up and they're well rested and they like open the door and essentially like the hotel room is gone. Like, you know what I mean? Like the balcony has been ripped off the building and the windows are gone and the mattress barricading the door is gone and there's just like rubble in the room. And he's like, okay, well, time to go. And I just remember reading this and thinking, this is ridiculous. And I am not mad about it.
Weather belongs to romance. I don't care what.
It was sublime. Sublime. And that is Beautiful Russian Monster.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we got to talk about Spring and Garrett from Beverly Jenkins's Wild Rain.
There you go.
Because this book, you would think from the title that it would be about rain, but it's not. Actually, her name is Spring Rain, and that's why the rain is in the cover, is in the title. But it actually begins in a blizzard. And I think this is a blizzard. This is the book that I said that is snowed in, but it's not snowed in the way you think it's snowed in. Like in class, I mean, of course, Beverly Jenkins knows the job. She knows that snowed in is not the story that she was telling here. But so here we are. Spring Rain, Spring, our heroine, is just not interested in your bullshit.
Literally. No, she
lives in the Wyoming Territory. This is Reconstruction, pre-Jim Crow. She lives in the Wyoming Territory. Her family also lives in the Wyoming Territory. Her father is a sort of renowned doctor there. And Spring is like a fucking badass. She rides horses, she shoots guns, she, herds cattle, she does whatever needs to be done. There, when we first meet her, she's got like a finger she was building a house or something and she like hammered her finger instead of a nail and she's just like, fuck it, I'm fine. I'll fix it in post. And so we meet her literally like out in a fucking blizzard and she is like coming home she's on her way home in the blizzard and she's like, it is it is blizzarding, Wyoming style.
Yeah.
And she needs to get herself home, and she is very competent. This woman, I mean, like, there's no worry that she's not going to be able to get herself home. She turns the corner in the road, and wouldn't you know it, here is a person who is not at all competent.
Yeah. Garrett,
a reporter from Washington, D.C., so useless in about 7 different ways, collapsed in a heap on the road, definitely dying. Like, dying, not just because he's collapsed in a heap during a blizzard, but also because he's just fucking useless in Wyoming. So Spring is like, no.
Oh, no, this idiot.
She picks him up. She, like, gets him onto her horse, takes him home to her cabin where she is alone. And basically she's like, you gotta wake up. Like, she's pretty much like, there's this great moment where she like, oh God, man, Bev is so good at the job. She like rips she like kind of takes his snowy coat off him, and she's like, oh, he's handsome. She's sort of like, ugh. And then she goes like, and then she thinks to herself, but like a pretty face doesn't like has hidden a lot of hideous people.
Yeah.
So she's like, fuck, like here's this man, and now he's like in my house, and I can't turf him out because it's snowing. There's a fucking blizzard. And so she's like, you gotta get up. Like, you gotta just like clapping at him, like, wake up. And so he wakes up, and he immediately is like, oh my God, like, I'm Garrett. Are you so-and-so's daughter? Like, I'm here to write a report, write a thing about your father. And she's like, listen, you gotta, like, you can go and sleep on the bed. You're clearly, his knees blown out. Like, he's just, what a mess, a useless man. And she's like, and she goes, she's like, if you ruin, you can go sleep on the pallet. She's like, if you ruin my couch, I'll feed you to a bear. And he's like, okay. And so he's like, he goes and he goes to sleep. And the next day, like, he's up, but she's like, his hands are so soft. Like, his boots are uncomfortable. He's like, my boots are so uncomfortable. Like, they're new. I bought them in Washington. And she's like, Washington Territory? And he's like, no, Washington, D.C. And she's like, ugh. She just cannot stand him.
It's honestly so perfect.
She's just like, you are just a useless person to me. And like in like chapter 2 or something, she comes in from having like gone out to check on the horses in the snow because it's blizzarding outside.
Right.
And she's wearing a buffalo coat. And he's like, is that a buffalo coat? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, can I try it on? And she goes, it might be too heavy for you.
She's like one of my favorits. Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, a quarter of the way through the book, right? The weather, the blizzard is stopped and the snow is starting to melt, and they can get themselves into town. And in classic Beverly Jenkins fashion, the town is filled with like a bunch of like quirky weirdos, and it's really a delight, right? Like, it's a real like community of people who you just want to hang out with. And he's talking to one of the other characters in the series, and she's like, wait, Spring like kept you in her house for like all this time. Like, she must really like you.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, she fucking hates me. Like, and they're like, no way. Like, Spring would have figured out a way
to get rid of you.
To get you out of there if she didn't like you. And then he's like, oh, wait, does she like me? And then it's sort of this wonderful romancy like moment where he's like, wait, maybe she does like me. And then it gets then he sort of turns the tables on her, and she's sort of like twitchy and flummoxed about like, oh no. But then like this book, listen, so many, Beverly Jenkins has written countless books, And like they really do run the gamut. Like there are these like beautiful soft books that like feel just like warm hugs of romance. And then there are these books that are like that feel just like intense, like two people in a phone booth, like Indigo. Yeah. And then there's like Wild Rain and To Catch a Raven, which is another one in this series that I really love. And these are adventures. Like this book has like bad guys who come into town who are like really threatening to Spring, and Garrett just steps the fuck up. He might have soft hands because he doesn't know how to like rope a hog,
a steer or whatever. I have no idea.
Wyoming, but whatever.
Rope, whatever.
Garrett and I, we're simpatico. But like he will cut a person for coming for Spring. And it is, I mean, what a fun book. And Spring is just like life goals.
Yeah.
So that's Wild Rain by Beverly Jenkins.
Okay. So I have one more. I mean, I'm sure I have like a million more, but I have like one more I've prepared. And I am going to talk about Uncharted by Adriana Anders. Now, everybody knows I love Whiteout in a way that's just, but
Man,
Whiteout.
Do you recommend that book I recommend that book all the time.
The time. Still,
like, to random people who are like, I've never read a romance. I'm like, read
like
Whiteout.
This is, read Whiteout. Yeah. So the thing about Uncharted, which is the second book in the series, is I think the thing about Whiteout is it's not weather, it's like climate, right? Like they are in Antarctica. It's not really weather in the same way. So it's like the whole world instead is so unfriendly to like what's going on in that one. So in Uncharted, it is in the wilds of Alaska. And listen, there's a lot. Alaska is like a real big romance setting, or at least I haven't seen quite as many of them lately, but I feel like there was a long run post-pandemic where people were trying to capture the like, what if you're trapped in like with in a really small place with like only a few people? And Alaska, I think, really filled a kind of romance trying to capture essentially that feeling, right? The smallness of our worlds. But in Uncharted, instead, it's like the absolute unforgiving landscape, because what happens is, okay, so Leo is our heroine. After the events of Whiteout, they're essentially on the hunt for this like virus. Again, the first book was kind of an accident. I think Whiteout literally was published right when the pandemic happened. And I was like, oh, there's someone who really anticipated a thing. But Uncharted felt a little different. And it felt like it was sort of trying to capture, it really was, I don't know. Anyway, Leo is the heroine. She's a pilot, and she is trying to find Elias, who is someone they think essentially has a vial of this virus, right? And they think that bad guys are after Elias. And so they are trying to like sort of get to him first, not necessarily to save him, but to like get this vial. She crash lands essentially in a like frozen lake. He saves her. And then they are like on the run in the Alaskan wilderness. And like weather is their enemy in every way, right? If it's snowing, if it's raining, if it's hailing. I mean, it's just like the whole thing is sort of this like nonstop like survival story, in the same way that like at the beginning you were like, Eric needs 20 pairs of socks. Like they just needed to get out of the elements. And so it's really this, and I mean, I was really on the edge of my seat in this book. And unlike Jason, like, okay, when I said the Odette Stone book was like Jason Bourne, I meant don't think too hard about it. It's not going to make a whole lot of sense. Right? And that's fine. I'm not trying to have it make sense. But in this book, it's so real that it actually is scary and terrifying, right? And I think because you're really like, wow, it's these two people against the elements, and there's like bad guys after them. It has some of the chapters in the like kind of, there's like a tracker after them. And it has some chapters in that guy's point of view, which I think is like sometimes too much for people, but here it's like really effective because the villain after them is just as skilled at being outdoors as Elias is. So he's like a real threat to them. And listen, there is like, it just has everything. I mean, but my favorite part of it, of course, is at one point there's only one sleeping bag. And there is nothing sexier to me than, I can't stand camping. And if you put me in a sleeping bag with another person, I would like fight my way out. Like,
yeah. Like, this is your favorite.
This is my favorite, right? And they have to like,
because it's a full fantasy for you. Like, you'll never experience it. So
I would
like
literally die. Yes,
from it.
There's nothing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they have to like, get naked and get in the sleeping bag together. And it's hot.
Thank you, Adriana Anders, for
your service. But I think it's also just like one of these things where it's almost like too intense. Like reading this book to me was like way too much, like so much so that you're kind of like, saying, like, when are they going to do it? They are literally in danger at every moment, either from the sky or the weather. Yeah. Sleeping bag time.
Well, Adriana loves the weather, though. There's, that Loving the Mountain Man book also is like she like skids and like crashes into, it's like icy and he has to carry her back to his cabin where what else is there to do? Listen.
Nothing.
Everybody, those Loving books, the Loving the Mountain Man, Loving the Secret Billionaire, Loving the Wounded Warrior, like all those books are just chef's kiss. So. Terrific. And also super sexy, which is, and it feels like we also, I feel like we got to talk about storm chasing right now because there seem to be a lot of storm chaser books that have either come out or are coming out. In fact, I noticed today I have like 2 on my pile for the, like that are coming out in the summer, it looks like. So, I want to talk about, and then I also thought like, if you're going to do a weather episode, Sarah, you got to do something that's like bananas sexy in the mix, right? So I just want to say there is Whirlwind by Kayla Gross, which is another one that I have talked about in the past, but bears repeating because it's, Kayla, as a lot of you who listen to the podcast regularly know, we really like her books. They're very, very sexy. She also loves a book where like weather sort of throws people off of their normal path. She did a book recently called X's and O's, where like a man again, like kind of is driving through a snowstorm. He gets into a car accident, ends up in the snow, and then like Misery style, somebody like stumbles upon him and like rescues him and takes him back to a cabin, but then not Misery style. It's not bad. It's very, very good. And it's ménage. It's like a married couple, like welcome him into their warm cabin. And anyway, so she, Kayla also likes a weather story, but Whirlwind, which is her tornado storm chasing book, is, really, really fun. I was into it the second that it was revealed to me that it was Professor Student. Which I know is not for everybody, but is definitely for Sarah. So the premise here is that the heroine, Finley, has just finished her meteorology program, and she and her professor are finally able to go on a storm chase together, like just the two of them. And they are headed to chase a tornado. And, they're like in his truck, like being sexy together. And then there's a tornado in the distance. And they're like, we're going to go. We're going to chase it. And they get to, they follow it into wherever. And there's like a ditch on the side of the road. And they're like, the tornado is bearing down on them. And they're like, we cannot escape it. Like, we're fucked. And they like they have to get out of the car, and they like out of the truck, and they like go and lie down in the ditch as the storm is raging around them. And like, Jen, what else are you going to do down there in that ditch?
Well, yeah. I have an idea.
I mean, there they are. professor and student just laying in a ditch while a tornado just might, like, it could be the end.
Yeah, of course.
This really goes back to, oh shit, we might die, let's fuck.
Yeah,
as a
of course.
premise. And I think that is the problem is, I've said this about F1, like if nobody's getting into a fiery crash, like I don't want it in romance. I feel like storm chasing, like if nobody's almost going to die from a tornado approaching, I don't want it in romance. And so and I think Kayla really understood the assignment here.
Yes.
And these two just then, and then of course, like once they've been down there in the ditch, like almost dead, definitely like one last bang before the world ends.
Yeah, right.
Then they just do it a lot. I mean, Kayla's books are great because there is a plot, but also once they figure it out, they then like really perfect the act for a while. So that's Kayla's Whirlwind. I mean, I have others, but I think we've done the job. I also would say there is a really perfect moment. I just want to I do want to bring up After Hours on Milagro Street, just not because I want to sort of it's not a weather book, but there is a perfect moment where Angelina uses weather in that book, where at the beginning of the book, obviously, like the hero and heroine of this book she hates him. He has come, like she's come home. There's a family bar. He's trying to like convince her grandmother to donate the bar to the historical society because it's like a historical art. It's a very critical like historical place in this small town in Kansas.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then it rains. It rains for the first probably quarter of this book. Like it's just the rain is oppressive.
Yeah.
And it's always raining whenever she's outside. And like part of it is obviously like this is her story, right? Like she is really like a storm in herself. And then there's a moment and it's like super rainy and like I can't even remember what happens, but he pulls her out of the rain and into like a protected space outside, like under an awning or somewhere. And like, there's this moment where he's like, I need you to understand that I'm not here to steal this place from your grandmother. Like I am here because I care about this community and I care about your family and I care about this place and I want to protect it. And she says, I believe you. And then like, he like leans in and they are pressed up against each other and she can like feel him against her like hard and hot and sexy. And it's so humid. This moment is like, it's so humid. And then, the rain is just pouring down around them. And then she says something to him and she uses his first name for the first time. She says Jeremiah out loud.
Yeah.
And then the rain stops. And it doesn't rain for like the rest of the book.
Perfect.
And it's
Sarah.
just, again, like I wasn't going to talk about this book because everybody knows I love this book. But when we started talking about craft, like I think that's a great example of like, and it's sort of marked in the text. Like, of course, like she goes to sleep and wakes up the next morning and realizes like the rain had stopped.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
And it's, I love it. Romance Man.
Unmatched. As is weather, everybody.
I also think like, I have no fear of storm. Like I don't fear weather, and I know a lot of people do. So I want to be respectful of that. But like, I wonder if part of the reason why I don't fear weather is because I grew up reading romance novels. And I'm like, listen, weather only ends in good things.
You know, James Joyce famously hated storms and would like hide under couches and stuff. Yeah, right.
An Irishman.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think like when I moved to California, I remember people being like, I vividly remember it like was August maybe, and there was like a little drizzle. And everyone was like, this is so fucking weird. I was like, why? It's just drizzle. And they're like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
It doesn't rain here in August. I was like, how can that possibly be?
No, that's what Californians always talk about that.
Yeah.
Like
it's like a very...
Eric.
Yeah.
Eric is from California, and when we are in Rhode Island in the summer, there's always,
of course.
every day there's a thunderstorm. And he's always like, this is very weird. Like, it's a very weird feeling to just have it be.
Yeah, like this is not how it goes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's strange.
I love it, man.
Anyway.
It feels like the whole rest of the world goes away. It really does feel like the rest of the world goes away. Like, everything pauses. It's a great time for a nap.
Oh, yeah. God.
And maybe a nap with somebody, big and broad.
What a time. Well, go out and buy the paperback of These Summer Storms. It has cool sprayed edges.
Oh, it does if you're a sprayed edges person. But more importantly, everybody, the paperback of These Summer Storms is very floppy. And if you know
we
what
talked
I mean,
about that.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I love it. It's my favorite, that floppy paperback. Perfect for a beach bag. Perfect for, your favorite friend. I will say, I've gotten a lot of emails from old dads. So, Father's Day's coming up. Anyway, if you haven't read Storms, enjoy. And if you like sprayed edges, enjoy. But if you haven't read any of these other books and you love a book with weather, I think you've got some good ones here. And other than that, any news, Jen? You have anything you're doing in June?
I am going to be with Sophia Benoit at Women and Children First.
Fun.
Yeah, no, it's Wednesday night, I think the 24th of June, to talk about her new book. But other than that, honestly, not that much. I'm just going to be reading myself, and that's a nice thing.
That is very fun. For New Yorkers, I am going to be with Sophia Benoit on the 23rd of June at Book Club Bar in New York City. And I am going to be with Mary Kay Andrews in Huntington at the Next Chapter Books on June 12th. So you can join us there, me and Mary Kay, who you will... Has that episode come out yet?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. There will be an episode with Mary Kay at some point. But we'll be there on the 12th together. And that's exciting.
Yes.
I'm excited. Mm-hmm. That's good. A few June things going on.
Yeah.
We have a few episodes already in the hopper coming. If you want to talk more about romance novels with us and with a bunch of other romance readers who are just as committed to romance being unmatched as we are, then we encourage you to come and join the Patreon. The Patreon is at fatedmates.net/Patreon. They're a monthly fee, a tiny monthly membership fee. Join and gets access to the Discord. You also get one extra episode every month from us, and access to the big community of Fated Mates listeners over there. We would love to have you. And you can find us on Instagram and Threads at Fated Mates Pod, and on Blue Sky at Fated Mates. I'm Sarah McLean. I'm here with my friend Jen Prokop. We are Fated Mates, and you can find us and this podcast every Wednesday wherever you get your podcasts. If you don't usually get us immediately, you can subscribe to the podcast right now on whatever podcasting app you listen to. Also, if you've been listening to us for a while on your podcasting app and you feel inclined, we would love it if you would leave us a review on whatever the app is that you listen to us on. We just realized that we haven't been asking for those for a long time, and every once in a while it's nice to have a little review to bump us up in people's feeds for people who are looking for romance podcasts. What else? Come see us with Sophia Benoit, and come see me with Mary Kay Andrews. And we hope that it's coming up on the end of the school year for some of you, and you're having an easy June-cember.
Yeah.
And that is that. I hope it is very stormy where you are sometime.
Exactly. And then just read a book.
Okay, love you. Bye.